Hello and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a couple of months since I had an update, and but I did want to make another video, show you where I'm at. There's been a lot going on and I haven't got nowhere near as much done as I would have liked to. Quite a few things have been in my way, not the least of which was the heat, and I've been sick for a couple of weeks, and that's really slowed things down. I wanted to show you where we are and the progress we're made. And first thing I'd like to talk about is, if you notice, we've got the car out from under the cart, and this was important because I needed to be able to access the front here to put the suspension back together, and I wasn't able to do that with the cart, so I had to sacrifice that ability to move the car in order to be able to gain in the rear as well, to be able to get the trailing arms in and the fuel tank and so forth. So we got that done. If you remember from our previous video, we had run into a snag. Our air compressor had quit on us, and I guess I've had it, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. It's a Harbor Freight. I did have to put a regulator on it at one point, but other than that, it's run all right. But it quit on me not too long ago, and I thought maybe it was toast, but I did see online that there are some. In fact, I actually went to the air tool place down the street and talked to them about it, and they said, you know, hey man, you got your money's worth. But I did go online, and I found a guy on eBay that sells replacement valves for them. And I thought that was worth a shot, and I'll try to get the link and put that in the description if you have a similar compressor, because that's what happened. It was running all the time and just getting hot, and the unloader valve wouldn't shut off because it never built up enough pressure to. So I ordered these, and these are the new ones, are stainless steel. This is the old one. This is one of them. The other one was completely broken in pieces, and that's why it was not working. So I put these new stainless steel valves in, and now it works. And I also changed the oil on it, and it runs like a top. So we're back in business with the compressor. It was a good opportunity too to take it apart and clean it up and everything, so it's probably overdue for that. But these are guaranteed not to rust, and they did do the job. So I think you can even get another kit that comes with the head gasket as well, which I didn't do, but might not be a bad idea because it really wasn't that much more money. The other big thing that we've managed to get done is the brake lines, and I really wanted to show you that. And as you can see, there is that brake failure safety switch and the new nickel copper lines that I've run. That stuff is life-saving. I highly recommend that. I believe I talked about it in the last video, not to buy the steel kits that are available. You'll never get them bent, and you'll fight it for nothing. The lines were a lot easier to get the necessary bends. In fact, when I had success with those bends and everything, and got them to go where I wanted them to, it really made me rethink. If you remember, I had used the original lines that ran from that switch over to the caliper, and so since I had the new line and it was so much easier to work with, I decided to take those back out and make new lines with the nickel copper going to the master cylinder as well. So that's what I did. The only thing I'm not happy with on that is I bought some, I figured they needed some sort of protective coating because they pass right over the battery. And so I bought this Plastidip spray. And I remember Plastidip, it used to be a really good product, but I don't recommend this spray at all. It really doesn't want to adhere, and it just scratches off super easy. So I'll probably have to do something else there. I don't know, but I don't recommend that at all. So don't waste your money. Maybe on some, I don't know, Susie Homemaker project in the house or something. The other issue was that we've kind of run into. Let's see if I can show you exactly what it is. If you can look inside here, and you can see that hole with the two smaller holes. That's where the accelerator pedal goes. It feeds through there. Well, I took the old one out and I bought a new one. I'll show you the difference, because this is important and it might save you a lot of aggravation. It's an important lesson too. If you can see the difference here between the two, and it maybe doesn't look like that big a deal, you know, at first. This is the new one, but you can see how that flange there is straight. Where on this one, the original, it has this. It's more like an L-shaped bracket or whatever. It's got a bend to it, and the reason for that is with it being straight like this, you're never getting that through that hole. So I don't know who made this, or if they ever tested it or whatever, but I don't know. You don't know what you're doing, dude. So this is the way it is with some of these aftermarket parts, and this is an important thing to remember when you're doing, I can't speak for other cars, but especially one like this, is don't throw away your old parts, because that other thing would have to be literally sawed apart and maybe run a new bolt through it or something with a nut and thread, because you're not getting that through there. But this is deliberately bent, and you can see you would be able to angle this through the hole. So I'm just going to clean that up, paint it, and put the original back on there. And I don't recommend buying those aftermarket accelerator pedals. So that's really what I wanted to talk about. I will say one other thing was on this failure switch, and this is really unique, and it gave me fits for about a week. I could not get any nut on it. I couldn't get the tubing to fit on it. I finally took it to the brake shop, and the guy, the old experienced tech there, tested it. The problem with it is every flare on the car is the bubble flare, except for on that brake failure switch. They are all just a standard SAE 45 straight flare, not a double flare, not a bubble flare, and that's why I couldn't get anything to go into it. So looking back on it, it sounds stupid, but when all the others were a certain way, and every tube that came on in those kits had bubble flares on them. But I don't know, he sort of speculated that this may have been a part that was put on the car because it was some sort of DOT requirement when it was sold here in the United States, or that perhaps the manufacturer was an American company or something like that. But for whatever reason, if you have to do one of these or replace one of those, just keep that in mind. Those are not bubble flares, and it'll drive you crazy, and it really held me up. So hopefully I've been able to help somebody else if they run into a similar problem. We're, like I said, we are moving. We just run into some real roadblocks these last 6 weeks or so, but looks like we're finally getting back on track, getting ready to mount the suspension parts, and get I've got the bushings pushed in on the driver's side spindle as well. I got that pressed in, so those are all that's ready to go now, and we should, by the next video, hopefully we'll have the front end together and we'll be working on the rear end. So I hope you all have a good weekend. I appreciate you watching, any comments. One other thing I might ask your opinions on, and when I ask for opinions, I'm serious. If you have an idea or if you've run into it before, the reason why this window trim popped, I don't know if you can really see it in the video or not, but the seal has come away from the window there, and it was filled with dirt. I blew it all out and everything. That's why the trim will not go back flush and sit. And I don't know any way to be able to reseal that, and I'm really thinking, in fact, it looks like the rubber of the seal is just corroded and wore away or washed away or crumbled up or something. So I don't know if I'm going to have to replace the entire thing or what I can do to seal that back down and get the trim to sit correctly. So any ideas or experience with that, be more than helpful. So that's it for now, and I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you subscribing, and leave your comments below. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.